All right, what's going on, everybody? It's ZVoms back here again with episode 2. We're going to be talking about vibrations and wavelengths. Now, I kind of want to give you a little intro what kind of wanted me to bring up this topic and, you know, what is so interesting about vibrations? We have them everywhere. They're, different wavelengths. We tune into the radio or, we listen to music. Like, yeah, so what? Well, it's funny because I didn't really know what was, what it was the interest either. I was like, well, whatever. But what really interests me is like, when like musicians play their instruments and artists come up with certain types of beats and how that really impacts you to either dance or affects your emotions. It's like it really can impact someone's spirit or mentality of something based on if they're sad and they listen to depressed music. Well, if they're listening to depressing music, they're not really going to step out of that boundary and be happy. They're kind of putting themselves into that state. Likewise, if you're listening to upbeat happy music, you may be happier. If you're listening to like rave music, you're dancing. And I kind of discovered this in Sound Like Physics. I believe it was my sophomore year of high. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a second. I had to take a brief intermission, but like I said, during sophomore year, we were in Sound Light Physics, and we were focusing on, how light particles went through the double slit, and how atoms were different if they were observed and stuff like that. And I really focused on kind of why they were like that. Why was the observation of something or its environment affecting how it was, kind of like how humans are. Some people, if they're working out, let's say, they may act different if they're by themselves or if someone's watching. And that saying always goes, you can judge a real man or person by the way they go about things when no one's looking. And that's kind of what I kind of related to. And how that relates to vibrations is because, well, photons and light in itself can be represented in vibrations. And as we know, we have the data transfer and fiber optics that go across, and you can transmit those in different ways, and have different signal sent. And so, on to the next topic, I want to talk about Nikola Tesla a little bit and kind of where those interests have sparked into something of my own research. And I came across the formation that he used of the numbers 1 through 9 and how they were together. And if you know anything about Nikola Tesla, 369 is the key to a lot of things. And you have this almost star setup of the numbers 1 through 9, where 9 is at the top, making a triangle with 6 and 3. 6 at the bottom left, 3 at the bottom right, and then the numbers surrounding it, where the 9 is a symmetrical cut piece. And you have this series of let's see, like algorithms almost going around in sequences, sorry, where you go, from 1 to 2 and then so on, because 1 doubled is 2 and then 2 doubled is 4, so you go from 4, and then 8 is let's see, where was it? What was it? Let me backtrace a little bit because I need to touch up on that a little bit. But you get the point, the sequences and how they go. And then you have a revolution of 3 to 9, and then to 6, and then from 6 to 9 to 3, and then from 3 and so on, with their polarities changing. It's a really complex idea. And when you move on to how that affects everyday life, you can kind of see how certain vibrations or even harmonics relate to that. And I say that because I was doing some research on actually how these vibrations affect organisms and, on large scale, how it affects us. And I came across a study that was controlling hundreds and thousands of frequencies that were basically going like designated in the direction of a crystal organism, a live organism. And nothing really affected it until it started having different variations. And I came across this where they had the difference of frequencies being the 11th harmonic. And when you had two frequencies in which being separated by the 11th harmonic, when you put the destination of that frequency, or frequencies rather, onto that organism, it would then destroy that organism. So, meaning that sound is capable of many more things than we thought. Now, this is really interesting because there's a lot of ways that difference between animals and humans, how they look at things, and the difference of observation. For instance, you can't leave a normal TV on for, like, let's say, a shrimp, because the way a shrimp sees is different than a human sees, right? So if you were to put a TV in front of a shrimp, it would think it's a poor representation of real life if it so-called communicate with you. And it's weird because I have a feeling, and I'm not sure, don't have this backed up by evidence, but I have a feeling that different organisms, or sorry, rather, not organisms, frequencies can affect different types of organisms depending on what harmonic it is or what frequency. And so I was doing some more research on that, and I came across different frequencies that you can listen to or meditate. And I've actually been doing this for a while. I usually sleep or meditate to 432 hertz frequency. And ever since I was doing that, meditating to that or sleeping, I would wake up just feeling a lot better. And I didn't delve into much of it because I didn't really second guess it, I suppose. And I guess it wasn't until I came across Nikola Tesla's findings on frequencies and how it affects people that I really even got into it. And now, another thing that I want to mention is when I used to work at a supplement company called Click Nutrition, this guy came in trying to sell us a device that I guess fixed back problems. So it's like a chair you sat in that fixed back problems, and it didn't really make sense to me. But now it kind of does. And what it did actually is it would vibrate at a certain frequency directly into your back. So it would heal certain things, and you would tune it a different way if if you were to sit in it, or if you were to have it pointed to a certain section of your back, and different frequencies did different things. And it was really a whole research behind it. It was actually, man, I wish I would have talked to that guy more, because I didn't believe in the whole thing at the time. So getting on to the more frequency of a topic, why this all makes sense to me is because I was when I was in sound light physics again, I was playing with two tuning forks. And I took one of the tuning forks, and I would bounce it. I would hit it on the table multiple times while holding another one of the same frequency. And when I would tap it on there, and I would stop, and I would cease the vibration on the one tuning fork, the other tuning fork that remained stationary would be vibrating at its designated frequency, as if the frequencies were interacting with each other. Now this may be sparking up a huge storm, and if not, I'll help you on the way. But what I'm saying is that based on research and what I've been able to find, frequencies do in fact affect organisms or objects in a way that we've never experienced before, or that we don't commonly know, at least the public. And this is crazy because we have all types of frequencies, always transmitting, between us. Like even now, we have the frequency of, like I said before, the radios that are, being broadcast, or satellites, projecting signals back and forth, or, even the transfer of data, or the signals that certain data transfer centers give off. Like all these different types of frequencies. And it's crazy because even 5G, gives off this type of frequency and has this certain wavelength that is actually seen to be harmful. And I'm not going to get into the whole 5G thing or any conspiracies on that. I just want to mention it just so if you're not on the, the brainstorm wave, if you would say, that you can kind of get an understanding of what this really means on a mass level. You take it from a tiny organism that's being affected by the 11th harmonic and bring it to a more variety of different ways that humans can, observe this. And now, another thing I want to mention too is that with that same format that Nikola Tesla had, I believe, let me check on that one, but leave a comment or something like that if I'm wrong. But I was doing some research on ways that you can set up different frequencies. So not being the 11th harmonic, but having a combination of harmonics. And you can set them up around you in a certain, maybe not even a formation, maybe you're playing up at the same time, but generally it's a formation in the sense of the star shape that represents the Nikola Tesla formation of the 1 through 9, designating the 369. And you play these different frequencies at different points around your body, and it seems to do a number of beneficial things. So, bringing it all back, we know that we can destroy something with a frequency, a small organism. The one thing that I'm currently researching that I would like to maybe bring a community around or something around it is how not only can we destroy, because I'm not interested in destroying, I'm interested on healing. How can we use this instead of modern day medicine? How can we use this to then heal someone? And I forgot that this is really important. Actually, I don't know how I forgot to mention this, but the same study that I was looking to that gave me the 11th harmonic study also started to do something similar on, I believe it was leukemia cancer cells. Leukemia cancer cells. Now, when they focus this 11th harmonic destructive frequency combination on this leukemia cell, when it would try and duplicate, and not only allowed that second cell to shrivel up, die, and practically explode, but it also got rid of the source of it and made that one do the same thing that the reforming second cell did. Let me pause for a second, because that is cancer. That is something that we have not found a cure yet. And these studies are out. These studies are out here. You can find them. Maybe I'll link I think it was a podcast I was listening to that I did some studies on. I'm gonna see if I can link that or something, or if you really are interested, and I can message me or something like that. But these were cancer cell. I couldn't wrap my mind around it. I couldn't. So these frequencies. So in all, these frequencies that can do so many different things for organisms that are being broadcasted every single day. All they have to do is be put up in a certainty or being observed in a different way or directed a certain way, can bring a whole new world of what we experience modern day to en masse, like literally to everyone. And it's out there. So this is what this podcast is about. It's literally about me finding these crazy things that I didn't even know, being 17 and being very passionate about and bringing them out here, because I think that, whoever listens or whoever has curiosity and, maybe doesn't want to take time to do the research or doesn't even know how, you never know anyone's situation really, that can come here and listen to this interesting stuff. So I'm going to look more on that cancer thing. And, this is episode 2 of Z-Vomps, and we talked about vibration and wavelengths. I can't wait to see you again. Have a good one.